Hi everybody, welcome back to our project. We are doing a mini album using Autumn Sunset from Prima. Here are the journaling cards. And last time we made all the pages. I want to show you the cover. I've already made mine. You can refer to my Construction Basics playlist for how to make covers and make a cover. In the cut list, it gives you the sizes, which are 7.5 by 5, and you need two pieces, one for the front, one for the back of your chipboard. Cut your spine 2 inches wide. I think the cut list says 1.5, but we made this one bigger. So 2-inch spine and 7.5 by 5, 7.5 by 5, and I used of course, the brown artisan cardstock. So there's our cover, and just refer to that video. So let me give you your measurements. This is, technically it's 8 7/8, but you can go ahead and cut it 9 if that's easier, by 6 7/8. Okay, and then score, let me give you the score lines. You want to score 1.5 inches, 1 7/8, 2 3/8, 2 7/8, 3 1/4, 3 and, let's see, I can't see that one. Hang on. Sorry, I'm blind. All right, hang on. I'm going to pick it up so I can read it out to you. Okay, so what did I say? 3 1/4, 3 3/4, 4 1/4, 4 5/8. Let's see, and then 5 1/8, 5 5/8. 6, 6.5, 7, 7 3/8. Okay, so what you're going to end up with is 1.5, then a 3/8 inch space, then a half, 3/8, half, 3/8, half, 3/8, half, 3/8, and then another 1.5 inches. And then I put my 3/8 inch tape in. You have pairs of 1/2 inches, so I put in one of each of the pairs, I put a 3/8 inch piece of score tape. And then on the other side, I just put 1/4 inch in all of the 1/2 inch spaces. Okay, so then you're just going to fold so that your 3/8 inch tape is to the inside. And you know what I need? Please pardon my nails, they're a mess. I keep telling you that, but I just haven't got time to deal with it right now. Okay, there we go. Okay, and then just fold that back. Now you're still going to have a 3/8 inch score line that is not folded in any way. That's just to help lay out putting it in the book. Okay, so then that's like that, and I just like to give it a good burnish. Okay, and then you're going to repeat for the next one. You've seen me do this before. All right, so let's go ahead and remove that tape. Okay. And then I'm going to do that one more time. Okay, there we go. So what we're doing, I probably should have explained it. I just assume everybody's seen it before, but you might be new. That we're making little fins that stand up, just like this, and then there's a 3/8 inch space between them. Okay? The last one. Then what you want to do is work these back and forth a number of times, burnishing them really, really well, because the more flexible your fins are, the more flexible your pages will be. So you want to get that. Okay, now, before I go any further, because I always forget, I am going to trim my corners. You don't really need to, because we made this smaller than the pages by a little bit, but I just find it easier to put the pages on if I do. Just be careful you don't cut right into the spine. You know, you just want to trim a little bit off each of these. And I'm sorry, I'm pulling it near me. Okay, so you can see how we did that. Okay. Okay, now our next step is, I'm just going to lay this flat. We need to put in, now there's 1.5 inches plus 3/8 going right up to the first fin, right, on each side. And you want to fully cover that with tape. And then here in these 3 little spaces that are between the fins, you just want to put a piece of tape, but you don't want to cover the seam. Okay, so I'll show you. So I'm using 1/4 inch for that area. Whoops, hang on, let's put it in the wrong one. There we go. Okay, being uncoordinated with my tape. Now you want to make sure that this tape does not extend past the end of this assembly. You don't want it sticking out top and bottom, because there's going to be no way to hide it, and it will show. Okay. And the third one. Okay, so there's those. And then here, you just want to fully cover with tape. And this is leftover. I use these score sheets. They're 8.5 by 11. So I'm going to probably hunt around and find some scraps of these and use these for my pieces here. But if you don't have them, then you could use whatever the widest score tape you have. So for instance, this is 1/2 inch. And you could easily do it this way. So let me just show you what I do with my ruler. Here we go. And I used to have some 1 inch, but I've run out of it. But it's perfect for this kind of thing if you don't have the sheets. And then I'm going to put this one close to the edge. And then we can put a piece, a narrower piece right there. Okay, so that's how you do that side with the narrower pieces. Okay, we'll burnish all your tape. And then this side is 1 3/4 by, should be 6 7/8. Okay. And I'm not going to cut the length. I'll just do it long and then I'll cut it off. Actually, you know what? I'll do it like this. I'm going to do it like right there. And let me grab my little knife. Should be here somewhere. There it is. Okay. Be careful if you're working with a craft knife. You don't want to cut yourself. And be careful you don't cut your... Oh, that's loose. Be careful you don't actually cut your hinge system. I'm just going to eyeball that because I don't want to cut mine. Okay. Okay. And then we're just going to start bringing this near me. I apologize. I know I bought new glasses just so that I wouldn't have to do this, but I don't have them on right now. Okay. Oops, did I put that crooked? No, it's pretty good. Okay, there we go. All right, so now that's fully taped. Let me get all this tape out of the way. You can see how quickly it goes when you have those bigger sheets. Okay, then here's our book that we've made. Okay, and again, you just follow the directions for my basic cover in the Construction Basics playlist to make your cover. Get these out of the way. Now, let's see, this is the back. And you know what? Last time I made a book, I put my pages in backwards and I made the seam on the front. So I'm just going to make myself a little note. Okay. Of course, I'm about to cover it with this, so I don't know how helpful that is. No, it's all right. Okay, so you want to center this top to bottom and side to side. And these little score marks that you've made earlier should line up with the edge of your chipboard, right? So that will help you out. And what I'm going to do is turn mine sideways so I can see the top to bottom. And let's get a good look at that. And then I'm going to make a line. And then I just want to double check this line because it looks a little tilted. So it's 1 5/16 there. So I think if I make it 1 1/4, because that's 1 1/4, so make this one 1 1/4, and just straighten out that line a little bit. It just takes a minute to do this, but I've been doing it recently, and it just makes it, of course I didn't straighten that even slightly, just makes it a little bit easier to get the hinge in. Okay, there we go. Okay, so then I'm going to take, and I think I will use this side, the one that has the smaller pieces of tape. We'll start with that. And I'm going to leave the rest of this tape for now, and I'm just going to line up along that line and centered top to bottom. Okay, let's just take a look. Oh, you know what? That looks crooked. That's why I did it that way, so that I could be sure it was straight. Whoop. Okay, let's try that again. That looks good. Okay, so let's put that down. And then we'll just reach in there and pull off the tape. Okay, and I'm just kind of going to roll this down into place. Go. All right, so just burnish everything really well, and then you need to go ahead and take your bone folder. Get all this out of the way. Excuse me. Take your bone folder and just gradually work this fold with your bone folder. Do it gently. Try to use like a fatter part of the bone folder so you don't accidentally poke right through it. And just work that down into that other adhesive that's already there. And then just work that up. Okay. And then repeat on the other side. And there we go. So now we have the hinges in our cover, and just work that gently. If you're using the Artisan, it doesn't really crack, but you still want to be gentle with it. Okay, and then we have our pages that we've already made. And so make sure I've got them in order. So that's page 1, 2, 3. Okay, and that one we need to do later. That and like that. So this is the back. It goes like that, if I remember it. Yes. So this is the excuse me. This is the back page, and I am going to start with the back, putting the pages on. So I'm just going to do a dry fit. Okay. Now you don't want to put this all the way down. You just want to put it most of the way down. Leave yourself a little bit at the bottom. Just checking to see if, make sure it looks straight. Okay. That one, and then this one, and I'm just going to pull this little pocket off. It's going to, we'll tuck it under there for now, maybe. Okay, well, clip it. Okay, there we go. And just dry fit that. That's good. Make sure it lines up with the page next to it. Okay. Just lift that up. We need a magnet for that. I'm gonna remember that. And you know what? Let's just do it right now. Whoop. Sorry about that. It is extremely early in the morning right now, and that was actually my alarm that I have to wake me up, but I always wake up hours before that alarm, but that's sort of my fail-safe just in case I should ever sleep in. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and put this magnet in before we forget it, because I am notorious for forgetting my magnets. Okay, there's that. And just need a little scrap of something. Okay. Oh, hang on, let me get the back of that off. Sorry, I'm trying to remember to speak louder. I think I bought a new microphone because it used to be very hard to hear me, I know. So I bought a new microphone, and that helped a lot. Sometimes I find myself just sort of speaking to myself, and then I'm talking very softly, and that does not do you guys any good at all. So I'm going to work on that. Okay, there we go. Okay, so there's our magnet. I'll just leave that in there for now. Okay, now our next page is this one. That's fine. I will say I enjoy doing all the pages and decorating them and everything outside the book and getting it all done, and then when you put them in, your book's practically finished. But it's a lot easier to get these pages in the book when they don't have all the decorations on them. At least I find it so. It's good. Okay. And there's that one, and now we have this one, which goes like this. Okay. I'm just gonna open that and that and that just so I get a better view of how this page is going in. Okay, there, and there. Okay, so there we go. We have our book. We have all our pages in. This is going to go here, but it requires us to know what we're doing in the way of mats before we can really put this little pocket down. So we'll just stick that there. All right, I think that looks great. All right, so this has been a super short video, but I think I'm going to stop it here. It's short for me. And when we come back, we will be matting and putting in all our pretty paper into the book. So that's that. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you've not already. If you have, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I will see you next time, and we will get matting with our beautiful Prima Autumn Sunset papers. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you soon.